Thank you very much. It's my pleasure actually to be here and to present this very important topic about innovative contracting. What we are talking today we have 5 agenda items. The first one, we are defining some items about construction 4.0. Then we go into risk and innovation dilemma. That's today everyone is talking about because we have a lot of technologies coming in every day. Then we talk how we need a new contracting paradigm and why. We will apply this to smart cities because this is my area. As well, we will talk of some samples about innovative contracts, how they are done and how they will add value to us. If you go to the internet and search about instruction 4.0, you'll find plenty of definitions. And the reason for this is because it's a new era, so everyone will have his own definition until it's stabilized somewhere. But in the nutshell, actually, you'll find it is related to innovation, it's related to automation, it's related to how we are utilizing technology in construction and how we can enhance the value delivery of our projects. This term was coined in Germany in 2016, and of course, it spread a lot of the world, similar to Industry 4 or other terms, actually. And here, actually, we'll talk about some characteristics about the construction 4.0. One characteristic is it has a lot of digital ecosystems, meaning that you cannot collaborate by your own. You will have different technologies around you that you need to tackle and handle these days. The blurred lines, today we are talking about a new era where humans will live with machines, where humans will live with robots. And in this, actually, the physical and digital is blurring the lines. And we have to live in this area and to see how we can benefit out of this. The augmented players, today we are talking about multiple players. I'm coming from, for example, from a master development. And in master development, usually we typically have a few contractors who do the job. We have 1 million square meters, for example. In 2-3 years, they can transform it into from sand into a land that can be built on or can be utilized. They put sewage, electricity, roads, everything. But now we are talking about much more players if we are talking to a smart city. And this will take us also to the integration part and delivery part. And in here, actually, what we are talking about, meaning that we have different suppliers, different providers. It's not like 2-3 contractors that we are dealing with. So we have to be very careful about how we are handling this relation today. And this is moving us to mindset change. We are not talking about kind of contractors. We are talking about partners who are providing value for us all the time. And also, we are talking about product-based sometimes, about data sometimes, or digital assets. So we need to understand the boundaries. Sometimes we need to produce some real assets, and sometimes you are talking about data, about intangible assets. And every time we need to talk about this and to see how to move and how to utilize. If we see about some components of the digital of the construction 4.0, you will find everyone today is using the cloud, everyone is using BAM, everyone is using big data analysis, robotics, drones, and all of this actually is part of what's used in construction 4. And of course, is adding new parameters, new challenges, new values that we need to cope up with. Similarly, when you are applying this into a smart city, if you are talking about smart city and applying this into a smart city, then even you are adding more complexity because you are talking to humans. You need to have the feedback from the citizens, the people who are utilizing services. So you are adding a new layer of complexity. And in his, you see actually there's a lot of smart items in the smart city project. You will find smart sewage, you will find smart electricity, you'll find smart parking, smart government. So you'll find a lot of activities, and every time you should be able to handle and to see how to collaborate these systems for your benefit and for the benefit of your project. And this is actually is taking us to how we can deliver a project, a successful project for a smart city, for example, or for a construction 4. And here we need to understand the business model. First of all, what business model we are talking, because there's today a lot of business models that is being elaborated by different people, by different consultants and organizations. The traditional one is no longer actually working. We need also to understand the value generation, when to generate value, what value to generate. There is an obstacle also related to funding, because when you are talking about a smart city, for example, we are talking to fund a project for 20 years, 30 years. And in this, there is a lot of challenges and the changes coming inside and this project. So we have to be very careful in this. Also, when we are talking about this, actually, how we need to manage the partnership relation between our vendors and our suppliers and all this stuff. Let's take about I'll go into details actually one by one on these elements to a certain extent. So first of all, let's talk about the technology risk. Why people are not happy to finance smart projects or innovative projects sometimes? Because the value of this will be generated later on. Usually it's difficult to have to identify the technology that you are using today. Maybe after a few years, you are going into different technologies, different setups, and all of this will be required and will be acquire new methods, new technologies. So you have to be very, very careful. Later on, how to monetize and benefit of the projects. When you are talking about a project that will last for 20, 30 years, then sometimes when I will get my money back, and what are the assurance points that I will get money back, my money and value, and people will be happy of this project. So you have to take this project in a totally different way, rather than what we have been developing so long for smart or for normal master development projects. Also, we are talking about the revenue, how I will generate my revenue out of this project and how I counter this money and this project. So this is very important issue. Additionally, people are talking about the short-term products. Sometimes it's very important to recognize that some products, like for example, cameras, sensors, IoT devices, they will be changed frequently in a project with the 20, 30 years, like smart city. So who will be the cost of this, and why we need to change it, and when to change it? So in here, sometimes you are introducing the kind of partnership. So for example, a vendor who is specialized in cameras can remove out these cameras in case we are talking about certain parameters, and then he can utilize it in different project that is not requiring this kind of innovative technology. So this, we have to identify these items. Similarly, when we are talking about the structure of risk and innovation, today everywhere it's a dilemma between risk and innovation, how to handle risk or to handle innovation. And the reason why we are doing this, and it's very important, is that when you are talking into doing it yourself, usually you are sometimes reducing the risk because you are the owner of everything. But of course, it's not today. You cannot do this exactly. You have to have a lot of partners who are doing with you, even you are private sector or you are a government entity. For example, we are a private sector. We are doing, for example, master development. Since a few years, since 50 years, we are doing master development in the traditional mode. And in this, we have like 2-3 vendors who can provide the value us. He can just make the master development, but the electricity, but water feeding in these locations, and make it ready for people to live in. And that was just like around 2-3 contractors will do all the job in 2-3 years. Today, we are not talking about this. We are talking about a smart district where we'll have to run it for long period. So we have to understand which contractor to bring. And when we are talking about a smart city, then we are talking about more than 100 of contractors who are doing with us, or gig workers who are having certain specialties. So in this, we need to be very careful how we allocate this partnership. Is it a direct delivery? Is it a long term? Is it franchising? Is it privatization or transfer of the ownership? So we have to be very careful how we are doing this and how we are managing this kind of stuff. Also, when we are talking about stakeholders, when we are talking about multiple vendors, multiple contractors, then also we are talking about multiple stakeholders. We have stakeholders who can just need some kind of communication. Other stakeholders will need a kind of consultation. We need to consult them. Some others need to participate in decision making, and others will have a good rule actually in decision making structure. But others will be partners for a long time. So how we will handle and how we will manage these partners, and others will have a co-decision for us in this, in case they have major shares in our project or something like this. And all of this will need to be directed, will need to be planned in very good manner actually. And this also will move us to what we are heading our is innovative contracting. So today we are talking about a new normal. Everyone is knowing that we are in a new normal. This new normal, we are having a vertical diffusions of products, of services, of contractors. So we are going in how we'll manage the value of our projects, how we'll deconstruct the value. So in case we can stop the relation with any partner at any stage, then we can get some value out of this. We're not to be locked in, and we will not get ahead with this project. We have contractors today, and we have gig workers, workers who are not working for directly for our organization, but they are providing a lot of value for us, and how we contract them and how we utilize them. Also, there's an increased touch points, meaning that touch points because you have a lot of vendors, a lot of contractors, a lot of staff, a lot of technologies. So all of these are creating a touch points and a different timing of the project life cycle. So you need to be very careful about it. And also we are talking about innovative contracting. This is leading us to how we make a kind of innovative contract to manage all these parameters so that this will be a win-win situation. Today in digital transformation, actually, I'm always saying that it is non a win-lose situation. There is no like win-lose situation. It's either a win-win or a lose-lose situation. And usually you have to manage this and to see how to reach to a win-win situation for everyone. And why this is very important actually, because everything is transforming. We see that technology is transforming, business is transforming, culture is transforming, and the public and laws and contracting is also transforming. And why we said transforming? Because we need to put some efforts actually to transform from the situation that we are in to a new situation. It will not come by default, because the technology is moving in much faster speed than what we are doing in other issues like culture or like public policies. So it's very important we move and we go ahead and to plan this kind of transformation and to transform the contract as part of what we are transforming. Traditionally, actually, we have this kind of normal contract management. You write a contract, you spend days and nights, maybe months and months to deliver this contract, to have every detail of the contract, and then to review it once and twice. And with this contract, then you spend some time in negotiation, approving, and this was a luxury time, because we have, okay, when we can plan all these activities, and of course, after we plan these activities, we can go ahead with the execution. But today it's no more actually, because technology is moving very fast and we have to be very careful. We need not to spend time on producing documents that we will not utilize, because after some time, after a year or two, the technology is changing and we will not be able to use these documentation and these specifications that we put. So we need to focus on how we build the data that will help us to make good KPIs, to make pathways for us, and to understand how we can every time elaborate and change and utilize this data in real time. And this is moving us to another point actually, which is the moving from the boundaries to pathways. Usually, contractor, you will put a boundary between you and the other contractor, saying, okay, this is my area of responsibility, this is your area of responsibility. Today, it's no more like this. We need to find a pathway where both of us will reach to a destination, where both of us will deliver value to this project, and with all of us will be winning situation. So this is what we are trying to move today. And in this, we need to move about the risk transfer methodology or mindset into the economic value. Rather than we put a kind of transfer the risk to this partner or to the other partner, we should be talking about how we generate value out of this, and all of us will share, will bear the risk. And here actually, these are just a few items about how we are talking about a new contracting paradigm. So there's a kind of speeds. Sometimes we have to move fast or slow. We have to have a kind of flexible scope, multi-layered structure, when to decide, as well to contract termination. Sometimes it's win-win situation to terminate this contract and to change something. So transform, change management also is inevitable in this kind of contracts, as well incremental deliverables. All of these things that we hate in the traditional contracts, today they are inevitable, and we need this kind of structures. What types of innovative contracting. We have a kind of vested contracts where we have to share the partnership. We have agile contracting, so we know when to do it. Opportunity contracts, so we can jointly work toward an opportunity and have a successful implementation of this opportunity. And later we can have a kind of smart contracts, which today it's limited, but where is a kind of contract that's delivered through the machines, through artificial intelligence, and it can be triggered automatically. Part of this, some sample of innovative contracts, actually, we can talk about in commercial sector. We have the ABB4. This is, you can find it in the literature, actually. Delphidix cases, JLL and Procter & Gamble to manage their facilities. This is a kind of commercial contracts. We have some sample of smart cities contracts like Amsterdam City, New York City. In Korea also we have some samples. We have another in the US, actually, some samples for data value and how we utilize the data. Additionally, we are talking about the private partnership for some cities to enhance the breathe and the air quality. And we have a lot of activities, actually, and this is coming in every direction we are talking about. Every sensor, every technology. So a lot of technologies that is there, and we are talking about them. So we can run innovative contracts for every kind of business, and especially for smart cities, for smart contracts, and smart governance. This is my last slide, actually, and I need to walk you through the takeaways out of this presentation. So we are talking about some takeaways. The business dynamics is changing. Everyone knows that we are changing. A lot of things are changing. It's very important we change our mindsets to move and to handle this new environment, this new normal. Construction 4 and smart cities are there. We are using it today. It's no more. It's there everywhere, and we have a lot of samples. And many of these samples are using a kind of smart, innovative contracting. Of course, it's not fully mature, but at least we are using this. The contracting itself is transforming, and a lot of people are adopting this for the many reasons, for financing issues, for a lot of activities. So this is very important. It is also very important that we plan for our smart and innovative contracting. I don't mean, when I say actually we are open for change management, we are open for contract management, that does not mean that we don't need to put some boundaries or some governance or some restrictions. But of course, we need to be very careful on how we plan the activities and how we do what we need, so that we get in a win-win situation, in a real world situation, rather than just we are in the fictitious world where we are not able to deliver the value, just we are putting tons of documentations. And the other thing is how we manage this relation. As we said, actually, we are moving away from risk transfer methodologies into pathway methodologies, into value generation, so that everyone will have a win-win situation. And this is actually, from my side, I was trying just to put a few cents in how we are utilizing innovative contracting and how it's utilized in this activities. So it's back to Europe.
Thank you. Thank you. And we have time just for one question. And that question is, and it's a slightly long question, so bear with me. Investing to make cities smart requires a lot of money. Do you think that in light of the current technological development, that investment to make cities smart contains a great risk because of the progression of technology improvement, as in technology is improving very fast?
Yeah, actually, this is the thing that I touched in my presentation, because the most important thing today is to have a kind of agile, innovative contracting, so that you understand when to put your money and what is the financing model that you will use. Because this service, of course, you are not putting the service, but you need to make sure that when you are generating this value and how you are generating this value, so that this is the position exactly where we position the innovative contracting, so that you deal with a good relationship with your investors, with your partners, with even your citizens, so that you get out of it. And we have a lot of examples, actually. The time is short, but there's a lot of examples where a lot of people use a kind of partnerships with vendors, with suppliers, with a lot of people, so that everyone will have a win-win situation. And this is exactly what we are talking about.
Okay, great. Thank you. And thank you for to the questioner as well.